So you know you should be using AI at work. You hear about it all the time, but you feel completely stuck on where to even begin. If that sounds like you are in exactly the right place. We're going to take that feeling of being overwhelmed and turn it into actual productive output.
Oh, we all know that feeling, right? You're drowning in tasks, you're buried under a mountain of emails, and you just assume that grinding it out late into the night is, well, just part of the job. But what if it doesn't have to be? What if you could just flip that whole script?
Well, that's where AI comes in. And look, I'm not talking about another complicated tool you have to learn. I want you to think of this as your new unfair advantage. It's a way for you to reclaim your time and, frankly, to get ahead. This isn't about making tiny improvements. It's about a total transformation of what you can accomplish.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about the incredible leverage AI gives you. Then, we'll dive into 3 power moves you can literally start using today. And we'll wrap it all up with a simple action plan to put it all into practice. Sound good?
Okay, let's dive right in. What do we even mean by an unfair advantage? You know, it really comes down to one word: leverage. AI is what allows one person to do the work of a whole team, or a tiny business to go toe-to-toe with a giant corporation.
And this is really the heart of it. We're not talking about shaving a few minutes off your day. This is a fundamental change in the physics of work. Complex marketing campaigns that used to take weeks, now they're built in hours. Deep research that took days, you can do it in minutes. This is the new reality.
Okay, so how do you actually use this? Let's get practical. Our first power move tackles what is probably the single biggest time waster for most of us. Just information overload. The endless emails, the huge documents, the 20 browser tabs all open at once.
You know this exact moment. Someone forwards you this monster email thread, and the entire message is just one word: thoughts. And your heart just sinks. You know the next 15 minutes of your life are gone just trying to get up to speed. But what if they weren't?
With tools like Gemini built right into Gmail, you just click one button. And boom, you get an instant summary of the whole conversation. But here's the really cool part. And this is what's on the slide as step 3. If the summary says there was a debate, you can just ask a follow-up question like, hey, what were the main points of disagreement? And it'll tell you, all without you having to read a single one of those original emails. And this new way of working, it goes way beyond just your inbox. Think about how we find things. The old way was you search, you get a page full of links, and then you have to do all the work yourself, clicking around, piecing it all together. The new way? You just ask a direct question, and the AI does the hard work for you, synthesizing information to give you a complete answer right away. Now, this is how you turn that into a professional-grade workflow. First, you ask a really specific, detailed question. Then, you feed all your source material, your reports, your data, customer surveys, into a tool like NotebookLM. And then, here's the magic. The AI sifts through all of it and starts to find hidden connections and patterns that, let's be honest, a human being would almost certainly miss. And to make this super easy for you, here's a prompt you can literally steal. Just copy and paste this, fill in your industry and your topic, and you will get an analysis that sounds like it came from a 20-year veteran of your field. This is your launchpad for doing research 10 times faster.
All right, let's move on to our second power move: creating content in minutes. This is for anyone who has ever just stared at a blinking cursor on a blank page with no idea where to even start. With AI, you never have to start from scratch again.
Think about this. You get a really tough email from a customer. They're upset, the situation is delicate, and you spend the next hour agonizing over every single word, trying to get the tone just right. Well, all that anxiety, all that time wasted, you can just delegate it now. The process is ridiculously simple. Inside Gmail, you use the Help Me Write feature, and you just state your goal, something like, reply to this with empathy but don't apologize yet. It'll create a draft in seconds, and you can tweak the tone with one click. But, and this is a big but, pay attention to step 4. This is maybe the most important part. AI can be a bit like an overeager intern. It wants to be helpful, but sometimes it just makes things up. You always have to be the final human in the loop to check for accuracy.
Okay, but what if we scale that way, way up? With a prompt like this, the content multiplier, you can take one simple idea, feed it some key points, and it will instantly generate an entire campaign for you. A blog post, a bunch of social media updates, a newsletter, even a video script. This is how you 5x your content output.
Our third and final power move is all about winning back your week. Seriously, this is where we find all those boring, soul-crushing, repetitive tasks that you do over and over again, and we get AI to do them for you.
The tool for this is a feature called Gems. Now, the easiest way to think about these is like they're your own little custom-built AI assistants. You basically create a pre-built prompt for a task you do all the time, give it a name, and then it's ready to go with a single click.
For example, let's say you want to get better at writing emails. You can build an email coach gem. You give it a name and a role, then you feed it really specific instructions, like the exact tone you want to use, words to avoid, the style you're going for. You test it out a few times, refine it, and pretty soon you have a personal coach that can rewrite any of your emails to perfection in seconds.
Okay, so you've got these incredible power moves. You see the potential, but having the tools and actually knowing where to start, those are two very different things. So let's build a simple, actionable plan you can start using tomorrow. And let's also be real about the challenges.
I mean, it's easy to see all this potential and then just feel overwhelmed all over again, right? So let's break this down into a few manageable chunks.
But first, a friendly word of warning. There is a very real danger here, and it's called automation irony. This is what happens when you don't have a plan and you end up spending more time managing and fixing what the AI is doing than it would have taken to just do the work yourself. We definitely want to avoid that. So here is how you avoid that trap. This is your first month with AI. Do not try to boil the ocean. In week 1, just focus on quick wins. That's it. Pick 2 or 3 of your most painful, annoying tasks and apply one of these power moves. Once you get that win, you can slowly start to expand from there. And this brings us to a really critical point. AI isn't going to take your job, but what it is doing is creating a new divide in the workplace. And it's a divide between 2 types of people, those who know how to leverage these tools and those who don't.
This technology gives you the power to work faster and smarter than has ever been possible before. So the only real question left is, which side of that divide are you going to be on? Thanks for tuning in to The Explainer.